Anybody else? Arshad, you gonna put your ideas in the chat? Ellas, right? Brooklyn, plural. Ellas viajaron en el coche azul. Arshad, what do you think? What's the basic idea in the sentence? So if it's ellas, you guys, what is ellas, or who is ellas? Who is ellas? Brooke? You can unmute Brooke. Okay. Yeah, who? Okay, good, Arshad. So ellas is they, right? If they're all females. And we know that viajar is our verb to travel, right? To voyage, right? So in the blue car, right? So our question is viajaron. So if you said traveled past tense, you're absolutely right, right? Because again, what is the difference between present tense and past tense? Well, it would be OASA almost an on, so it'd be viajan with an A end if they were doing it now, right? So generally speaking, they travel in a blue car. But if we add the aron at the end, that makes it preterite, right? That makes it past tense. And this is what I was saying all last week, you guys. This past tense is like kind of goofy in our brain, okay? We have to really be diligent with it. So viajaron, aron is going to be our AR verb ending for the plural they. Okay. Okay. Muy bien, clase. So before I do anything else, I'm going to do this because otherwise I'll forget it. Mr. Phillips wants us to share this with you this morning. So you can take it's in your canvas, but if you needed to like put it on your phone or something, you can take a quick picture. So our third 9 weeks, you guys, is coming to an end fairly soon. And you two seniors, wow, right? Look at that. You got 11 weeks left, roughly. So Monday, March 2nd, you'll have first and fifth. Tuesday, March 3rd, you'll have second and sixth. Thursday, the 5th, third and seventh, and then Friday, fourth period. And you guys need to come to your classes as normally scheduled, right? Because classes just continue on. So he wanted to make sure that you all realize the dates, I guess, to make sure that you are present in class. Okay. All right. Any questions there? All righty. Well, what are we doing today? We're doing a couple of things, okay? And I tried to keep it simple for us today because that's how we roll on our day back up from a long vacation. So here's the goal. Now, not to say that we have to get there, but this is our goal today. Hoy es martes, it's Tuesday, el 17 de febrero. Vamos a conocer del nuevo vocabulario. So we got some new vocab coming up. Just a little bit. We're still traveling, okay? Y vamos a conocer al pretérito de los verbos en ER y IR. So we've been practicing last week those past tenses in the AR verbs. We need to start thinking about the ER and IR verbs, okay? This is a verb fest, okay? Right, you guys? And so behind me, you're going to see, if you can see my background when I share screens, I know it kind of gets small, but here's our AR verb endings: hace, o, amos, and aron. Hace, o, amos, and aron. So that's where we are. And then we need to come over here and we're going to add these other endings to our repertoire. Okay. So once again, I do not have guided notes for you. So if you're somebody who, writes things down, have your notebook ready. And I'm still reminding you of about a big sticky note. Okay, so you should have your AR verb endings, you guys, on a sticky note, and telling yourself that it's past tense, right? Those are the past tense endings, okay, for the AR verbs. All right, y'all ready to start? See or no? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, only Brooke is ready. Jamarian, Arshad, you guys ready? Arshad? Okay, so last week, we looked at the quiz, because remember, we're having a quiz Thursday. Okay. And so we looked at the actual quiz on Thursday. For Thursday. I can pull it back up if you want to see it again. We went through each section. Do you want to see it again? Let me know if you want to see it again. Give me some kind of reaction. Yes. Okay, Brooke wants to see it again. Jamarian, Arshad, y'all want to see this quiz again? I'll be happy to pull it up. Okay. It's not going to be an easy one. Let me just put it to you that way. Okay. So give me a second to get it up and running here. Okay. All right. Take a look at my screen, please. All right, you guys, this is happening Thursday, and it may or may not take you most of the hour. If it does, takes you all hour, that's fine. Okay. So I put in some helpful reminders about what some of these words may mean, okay, that you're going to see in the actual test, right? So you can just kind of scroll up and down and use them as a helpful hint. And in the first section, you're just going to match. It's just vocabulary. So what is the word for subway? What is the word for airport? What is the word for train? What is the word for bus, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, because remember, we practiced. We said en coche, by car, en autobus, right, by bus, en metro, right, by subway or whatever. Okay, so we practiced all of those modes of transport. Down here, you're going to select the vocab word that best completes each sentence. So some of these, you guys, some of the words I thought that might trip us up, I put them up here. Okay, that's where these come from. So you're going to just have to kind of get the main idea of what they're saying here, and then choose the right form of transportation. Okay, so those two are just vocab. Then when we come down here, we have people, and we need to choose the correct form of the verb in the past tense, in that preterite tense. Okay, everybody understand that? Stop me if you have a question or if you think I'm unclear. Okay. Then the hardest part, in my opinion, is this one. It says, select the sentence that most logically follows. So, for example, my grandmother likes to travel. So, which one of these would logically follow the statement, if my grandmother likes to travel? Okay. So you'll have to, and these are all in the past tense. They're all in that preterite, regular AR verbs. You're going to see a lot of viajar, which is why I put it in my warm-up today. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. So that's Thursday. And then, like I said, if it takes us all hour, that's fine. As long as we get it done. I don't have like a time constraint on the thing. Okay. That it's fine with me, however long y'all need for the day. Okay. Muy bien. Preguntas. Ready? Questions before we move on, you guys? No preguntas. Okay. So once again, I don't have guided notes for you. We're going to start our new vocab section. It's short. We're still talking about traveling. I would remind you of having one of these. Yeah, but this is a small one. I would get a big one or some kind of note or some kind of piece of paper or something. Okay. All right. Just to contrast, yeah, take a look at my screen. These are the regular AR verb endings in the pretérito, in the past tense. Haste, o, amos, and aron. Compré, compraste, compró, compramos, and compraron. Another reminder, you guys, you got to have accent marks. You got to have accent marks on those things. Otherwise, they'll be incorrect. Okay. All right. I think we should do this. I think we should do this. Let's do this real fast. I'm only going to put it in for like 5 minutes. Let's do this. Okay. Check the link in the chat. Let's do this first before we start our new vocab. Okay, click on that, everybody. Por favor. Let's just kind of wake up this morning. All right, JoJo's raring to go. Brooke is ready to go. All right, you guys. Muy bien. So we're just practicing those regular AR verb endings again, one last time before our test, okay? All right. All righty, there you go. 5 minutes is what we got. Make the best of it. Come on, Arshad, you got this. Aste o amos aron, right? Aste o amos and aron. All right, good job. If you have your sticky note, feel free to use it. That's how we learn. Yeah, good job, you guys. Haste o amos aron. Two more minutes. Good job. Keep up the good work. You guys are doing good. Doing very well. Muy bien. Good job, you guys. Stealing some gold. Uh-oh, Arshad. Yay, good job, you guys. Nicely played. Muy bien, muy bien. Okay, so give me a 3, 2, 1. How you feeling about these AR verb endings, you guys? 3, I got it. 2, I'm not so sure. 1, I'm lost. Give me a 3, 2, 1. Okay, Brooke. All right, Joe, good. Arshad, how about you? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we're going to move on. And we're going to start some new vocab. There's not a whole lot of it. Again, if you're a note taker and you want to write these down, feel free. Let me know if you want me to slow down, move faster, whatever, repeat something. And then if we have time today, and we probably will, we'll do a little listening practice or a little practice activity with them. Okay. And of course, get your sticky note ready. Okay. All right, here we go. So we're still traveling. You ready, Joe Marion? Arshad? Brooke? We're still traveling, right? All right, our first verb, you guys. Viajar. Viajar. So what did we say? You guys are going to have to help me with these. So wakey, wakey. What does viajar mean? One more time. Please unmute, you guys. It'll go faster if you unmute. Make your guesses. What is viajar? Yep. Good. To travel. Okay. Our next one, you guys. El billete. El billete. Clase? ¿Qué es un billete? Joe Marion, what's a billete? Make your guess.
A ticket?
A ticket. Exactly. I got a drink, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm losing my voice. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. A ticket, right? You got to have a ticket. Plane ticket, train ticket, bus ticket, whatever, right? Nowadays, we use QR codes, but some places still use paper tickets. La bolsa. La bolsa is, what would we call that in English, you guys? Una bolsa. If we're traveling, we would call it a bag or a carry-on bag, right? Something that we could carry on if we're talking about plane travel. Okay. Muy bien. How about our next one, you guys? La guía turística. It's a weird word. La guía turística. Arshad, what do you think this means? La guía turística. ¿Qué quiere decir? What's your guess? Brooke, if you need me to slow down or back up, I will. Just holler at me. What do you think, Arshad? Make a guessy. Una guía turística. What do you think it means? Yeah, muy bien. A travel guide. Yeah, guía, guide. So travel guide. So, they sell books or you can download things like places to go, where to eat, how to get to certain places, travel guides, right? So tourist guide, or we would call it a travel guide. Okay. Guía turística, tourist, right? Okay. Una maleta. Una maleta. What is a maleta? ¿Qué es una maleta? Joe Mary? Okay. Say again, Brooke.
Suitcase.
Suitcase. Yeah, a suitcase, right? So different from una bolsa, right? Different from like a purse or a bag. Una maleta is going to be a suitcase. Okay. So once we arrive at our destination, however we get there, and we are tourists, what do tourists generally shop for, you guys? Especially to bring back home, maybe as a gift or something. What do tourists shop for usually? What's the word we use?
Souvenir.
Souvenir. Okay, very good. A souvenir. So our activity here, comprar, to buy. Souvenirs or remembrances, right? Recuerdos are memories or remembrances. Okay. So to buy memories, to buy souvenirs, we would say. And you guys know souvenirs is the French word, right? We just borrow that in English. And a souvenir is the verb in French to remember, right? So that kind of makes sense, right? You buy something to remember. So the Spanish have their word, recuerdo, so to buy memories, to buy remembrances, okay? I'm not a big souvenir shopper. I like to look at things, but I'm not a big souvenir shopper. Are you guys souvenir shoppers? If you go out of town? Okay. Then we have enseñar el pasaporte. And this is a hard one. So if you're writing these down, maybe put a star. Enseñar el pasaporte. So what are we doing here, Jamarian? What does the picture tell us we're doing? Arshad? What is the picture telling us we're doing? Enseñar el pasaporte. Make a guess, please. What's happening in the picture? What do you think? Okay, so something about a passport. Very good. And what is the guy doing, or what's happening with the passport? Because this is an action. What's happening with the passport? Arshad, make a guess. Enseñar. What are we doing with it? Remember, we're talking about traveling.
Inspecting?
Yeah, well, that's absolutely a great answer. Okay. So whenever we travel with the passport, we have to give it to somebody to inspect. You're absolutely right. Very good, Arshad, right? So they have to look at it, make sure it's legit, make sure you're, on the list and all of those good things, right? So I'm not sure like what the word would actually be. Maybe passport control is what we call it in English. I'm not sure. But if it helps you to remember inspect, that's great. Okay. The actual word enseñar means to teach, which is really weird, right? So maybe to demonstrate or something like that. But to me, what Jamarian said, inspect is perfect. I think I like that. And there's a connection, that INS, okay, or ENS, inspection. Inspect the passport. You give it to somebody to check it out, right? Good job. Okay, our next one is actually absolutely weird. There is no connection that we can make in English in any way, shape, or form. So this is just one, again, if you're writing them down or taking pictures or whatever, this is one you really ought to like circle in red or something. It's facturar el equipaje. Facturar el equipaje. And basically, it's checking in your bags. There's absolutely nothing here that helps us remember what that means. So it's just one of those that we have to remember. Facturar el equipaje. Okay. To check your baggage. Facturar. Okay, we're almost done here. Okay, here's our last one. El mostrador de información. El mostrador de información. So what do we call this in English? I mean, nowadays they're digital and blah, 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 but what do we call this? If you go to the airport, the train station, you need to catch a flight or something, what do we look for when we get in the building? What's a guess? Mostrador de información. What is that? Well, we know información, right, Jamarian? So what is mostrador? Anybody? Arshad, what would we call this in English? Jamarian, what would we call this in English? Come on, you guys, I need you to focus here, please. What do you think? What do we call this? Arshad, what do we call this? What could we call it? Yes. So you go into, thank you, Brooklyn. We go to the airport, or we go to the bus station or the train station or the train station or wherever we're going. Yeah. And we got to figure out what gate we depart from. Isn't that right, you guys? We might have our flight number if we're flying, or our train destination, or we got to know where to get it. We got to know where to get on it, right? So that's what we look for. So this is our bulletin board, our monitor, our information board. Yeah, our flight information or whatever. Okay, our boarding information. So however helps you to remember this. Mostrador in Spanish is the thing that shows you something, right? That demonstrates. Yeah. So this is the thing that shows information, literally, is the word. Okay. Okay. Now, I got a question for you. Let's go back a second. Who can tell me what kind of verb is viajar? AR, ER, or IR? AR. Okay, muy bien. Is it regular or irregular? In other words, are there stem changes or anything like that? Or is it just straight old conjugation? What do you think? Does it have a weird pattern, or is it just a normal AR verb? What's your guess? Is it regular or no? Like, other than change the ending, are we having to do anything to it when we use it in a sentence? Do we do anything to the root or the stem? What's your guess? No. If take a look at, okay, thank you, Jamarian. I love that. So you guys, look, if it's a regular verb, when we get rid of the ending, right, in order to use it in a sentence, we don't change this root of the stem in any which way. And that's what makes it regular, because it means it follows a regular pattern. Okay. If we got to start adding U's and E's and I's and this, that, and the other to the stem, that makes it an irregular verb. Okay. Any questions there? Okay. Let me fast forward here. Okay. How about comprar? Who can tell me real quick? Is it a regular, what kind of verb, or irregular, what kind of verb? Comprar. What do you say? What kind of verb is this? Jamarian, what kind of verb is comprar? AR, ER, or IR? It's an AR verb. Muy bien. Is it regular or irregular? Do we change the stem at all? What do you guess? Arshad, what's your guess? Very good, Brooklyn. It is regular, right? It's normal. Okay, so we don't have to do anything to the stem. It's just regular old AR verb. Okay. How about this one? Enseñar. What do you think? What kind of verb is it? We see it's an AR verb. Do you think it's regular or irregular? What's your guesses? If I'm going to use it in a sentence, is it regular or irregular? Do I have to do anything to the stem? What do you think, Arshad? Do you think it's regular? Do we have to do anything to the stem? All right, muy bien. It's regular. We don't have to do anything. All good, right? So enseñ, if it was present tense, O-A-S-A, enseño, enseñas, enseña, enseñamos, enseñan, right? If it's past tense, what we're working on now, you got the endings behind me. Enseñé, enseñaste, enseñó, enseñamos, enseñaron, past tense. Okay. Regular old. How about facturar? What kind of verb is facturar? AR, ER, or IR? AR. Do you think it's regular or irregular? It is. Normal, regular old AR verb, right? So I check my baggage in present tense, general present tense, facturo, right? I gets that O ending, facturo. But if it's past tense, facturé. I checked in, right? Facturé. So they're all regular AR verbs, which makes our life easier. At this point, we just need to remember what they mean, okay? All right, preguntas, clase. Any questions? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Give me 1 second. I need to go to Canvas real fast. And we are going to do some vocab practice real quick, okay? And I need your all's attention. I can see that some of you are like looking at other things. Give me a minute. Oh, okay, here we are. All right. I need for you guys to join me in Canvas, and I need you please to refresh your screen. Okay. Yep, refresh your screen. And when you get there, go to Unit 7, Unidad 7. The very last thing should be vocab slides here. Okay. Everybody see that? Let me know if you're not seeing those. Okay, go ahead and click on them. And you want to open those in a tab, keep them open so that you can use them, because we're going to do some listening practice. We're going to do some other things with those, okay? And while I'm sharing this particular screen with you guys, since our quiz is Thursday, and it does include AR verb in the past tense, if you have not yet done this practice sheet, I would recommend that you do that. Do the practice before the quiz, right? That makes kind of sense that you would have that practice. And then you also had this Tim in Argentina, which was in VHL. So those two things were to practice vocab and our AR verb endings. So maybe before Thursday, you probably, this is already past due if you haven't already done it, but make sure that you get those practices in before Thursday. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing. Everybody should have your slides open. And then give me 1 second. Pull my stuff up, the rest of my stuff. And I'm going to put a link in chat here in just a second. And we're just going to do some listening. Okay. Okay, guys, click on the link in chat, please. And you want to open that up in a new tab. Okay. Is that Nearpod opening for you? Go ahead and click on it. Joe Marion, Arshad. Joe Marion, is it happening for you? I don't see it in. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I will read you a sentence. Okay, you guys? And the sentences are in regular old present tense, nothing fancy, but you are going to need to identify the item or the action. Okay, so you're going to circle the image that you hear that you think best describes or represents what is being said. Okay, everybody clear about the instructions? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, Joe Marion, you ready? Arshad? Thumbs up. Okay, and I'll repeat them more than once. Okay, all right, here we go. Here's número uno. Me gusta viajar en avión. Me gusta viajar en avión. So you're going to circle which image you think best represents the sentence. Me gusta viajar en avión. Me gusta viajar en avión. Arshad, what's your choice? Okay. All right. So if you circled traveling, right, the little image that says traveling, that's a great answer because I said I like to travel by plane, right? If you circled something else, that could be anywhere. That could be a bus station or a train station or something, not necessarily by plane, right? So traveling was the key word. Great answers. You can go ahead and erase and we'll do another one. Okay, muy bien. Okay, here we go. Número dos. Miro, right, you guys? Miro el mostrador de información. Go ahead and clear your board. Click on the three dots, right, you guys? There you go, Brooke. Miro el mostrador de información. Miro el mostrador de información. Jomarian, ¿qué piensas? What do you think? Miro el mostrador de información. What do you think, Joe? So if you circle the monitor with the information, or it could be flight information, train information, whatever. As long as you circle the monitor, you're correct. El mostrador de información. Okay, clear your board, you guys. We'll do a few more. Jomarian, you ready? Okay. Mamá lleva una bolsa roja. Now be careful with this. Mamá lleva una bolsa roja. If you have your vocab list open, very good, Arshad. Mamá lleva una bolsa roja. All right, good job, you guys. The bag, yeah, the bag. Okay, good job. All right, erase. I'll clear your screen. All right, here's another one. La guía turística tiene fotografías de la ciudad. La guía turística tiene fotografías de la ciudad. Yay, the tourist guide, the book. Muy bien, you guys. Good job. I can't fool you. All right, let's keep going. You're doing a great job. Okay, this one's a little tricky. La maleta es grande y azul. La maleta es grande y azul. Arshad, ¿qué piensas? What do you think? La maleta es grande y azul. Muy bien. So you guys all circled the suitcase. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let's do some more. Okay. I'm feeling all right about this. I know it's like process of elimination. Okay, go ahead and clear. Okay, here we go. Okay. En el aeropuerto, enseño mi pasaporte. It's an easy one. If you look at the images. En el aeropuerto enseño mi pasaporte. Yes, Arshad. Very good, Brooke. Jamarian, you with me? En el aeropuerto enseño mi pasaporte. Yeah, that one was simple, right? So you're showing your passport. Okay, muy bien. All right. One more. So clear everything and listen carefully, right? One more. Let's see which one it's going to be. Necesitas, Arshad, necesitas facturar el equipaje antes del vuelo. Necesitas facturar el equipaje antes del vuelo. Good, Joe Marion. Good, Arshad. En el aire, no. Necesitas facturar el equipaje antes del vuelo. Brooke, do you have an answer? Necesitas facturar el equipaje. Okay. So facturar el equipaje, check in your bags. Check in your, that's the one that I said there's nothing to help us remember it, right? Yeah. So facturar el equipaje, very good, you guys. Good job. Round of applause for all of you. Pat yourselves on the back. Muy bien. All right. You can back out of that Nearpod. Good practice. Good practice. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little brain break for just a second, because we're going to transition from these preterite AR verbs, and we're going to look at briefly what the ER and IR verb endings look like in the past tense. Okay. So like I say, you can go ahead and back out of that in your pod. If you're taking a sticky notes, if you're writing notes, whatever, right now would be the time to add to your sticky notes or whatever it is that you're keeping on hand. All right. Okay, let's clear our cobwebs and focus on something new. Okay. So again, you guys, we're talking about past tense, right? We want to say, I ate, I wrote, okay? If it's an AR verb, you know, I traveled, I spoke, you know, I wore, I walked, whatever, right? I sang. So we're still in past tense, okay? The good news is in ER and IR verbs, just like in the present tense, they are going to have the same endings, right? So ER and IR verbs always have the same endings, except when we're talking about the nosotros form in the present tense. But I want you to look here. We have iste, yo. Imos, ieron. Okay. Iste, yo. Imos, and ieron. So they have the same endings. Whoo, right? That's an easy, that's a load off our brains. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to write these down. Comí, comiste, comió. Accent marks are an absolute necessity. Comimos, comieron. And I'm going to ask you some questions here. We're going to look for patterns like we always do. So be looking for some patterns. Jamarian, Arshad, right? Be looking for some patterns. I wrote. Yo escribí. Escribiste. Escribió. Escribimos. Escribieron. So once you get those written, we're going to look at some patterns. Okay, Jamarian, you looking for patterns? And if you guys can see my background, my chart I have behind me, I have both columns, the AR verb column and then the ER and IR verb column. So if that helps, if you can see that, and that helps you to try to look for some patterns, that would be good. Okay. Anybody got spot what they think could be a pattern? You can unmute you guys or put it in chat. What do you think is a pattern? Think about the AR verb endings. Think about the present tense endings of ER and IR verbs. What do you see that's similar? What are some patterns, similar patterns that we're seeing here? And if you don't see any, then that's what you need to tell me. Okay. Arshad, do you see any patterns, similarities, differences? Brooklyn? And you know, there's no right or wrong answer, right? You guys, it's kind of like whatever jumps out of this. Okay, very good. So nosotros is imos, IMOS, instead of AMOS, right? Yeah, good. What else do we see? Okay, Jomarian, take a look up here for just a second. Okay, I need everybody. Arshad, take a look up here for just a second. So we have established that the nosotros, right, is the same. Okay, got that? Especially with the AR verbs, it's still amos. Okay, and looky here. If we have accent mark on the yo form, accent mark on the L, A, and instead form, just like we would have had in the AR verb. Okay. Instead of in the AR verb, we have like E accent mark for yo, it's I accent mark. Yeah. And then instead of aste, it's iste. Instead of O accent mark for the AR verb, we have to add our I-O. That tells us that it's an ER and IR verb. Okay. And then instead of Aron, A-R-O-N, it's I-E-R-O-N to tell us that it's an ER verb or an IR verb. Right? So basically, you guys, things that let me do something here. Hold on. Things that we need to sort of look ahead to. Okay. Give me 1 second. Because what's going to happen, unfortunately, I guess, is that fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, what's going to happen is that these are just the regular verbs, right? That's why I keep stressing regular verbs. And pretty soon we are going to end up with the irregular ones. So the ones that have an irregular stem. Okay, I'm looking for something in particular here. So give me 1 second. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you. All right, so take a look. Por favor. Last thing we do today. Take a look up here. So here is our, and this is kind of super important. So let's finish off on a high note, I guess. This is our past tense for AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. So notice, you guys, we're looking for those patterns. So this is going to kind of help us, right? AR verb, an E with the accent mark, the ER and IR, I with the accent mark. Okay. The AR verb is aste. The ER and IR verb is iste. Okay. The AR verb is O with the accent. The ER, IR, we got to add an I because that's what we're dealing with here. Iste, right? Iste, yo. Everybody see that? Now is it easier on this chart here? Yeah. And then our AR verb, aron. And then for ER and IR verb, the A becomes an IE because it's an ER or IR verb. Everybody see that? Jamarian, do you see that? Yes? Okay. So not difficult because they do follow sort of a pattern. Okay. All right. So how are you feeling about, I don't know, whatever we did today, past tense verbs, new vocabulary? Give me a 3, 2, 1. How are you feeling about it? Generally speaking. Okay, Arshad. All righty, Brooklyn. Yeah, so Thursday is our quiz. And depending upon how long y'all take, we'll move on to other things, or we'll make it a work day or whatever. We still have assignments. Again, I would urge you to do the AR practices in Canvas and VHL. If you haven't done those yet, I would strongly encourage you to do those before the quiz on Thursday, so you have those practices. Okay. All right. We don't have time. Well, we have what, 5 minutes? We can do a couple of these. Let's do a couple of these. Why not? All right. Let me get myself back together here. Okay. Let's do this. All right. Jamarian, Arshad, take a look at the screen. Let's just do a couple of these before our time is up today. So here are the ER and IR verb endings. These just happen to be all ER verbs. Okay, just because. So let's do 1 and 2. We only have a few minutes left. So let's do 1 and 2. How would we fill in the blank? Here's our verb. Here's our endings, ER verbs, past tense, preterite endings. How would we fill in the blank for 1 and 2? Okay, good, Joe Marion. How about number 2? Very good, Joe Marion. Hoo-hoo. Good job. Anybody else before our time is up today? Good, Brooklyn. How about number 2, Arshad? We're just doing 1 and 2 before our time is up today. That's it. That's good, Brooklyn. See, that's the great thing. Arshad, I'd like to see your 2 answers because they're regular. We don't have to do anything with the root, right, or the stem. We just need to memorize the endings at this point, right? And they're not so different from the AR verb in the present tense or preterite tense, right? All right, so let's see what they come up with here. Oops. Stop. Turn off. Okay. So we had vendió, mi tía Jorgelina vendió sus libros, right? My aunt Georgia sold her books. Past tense, right? Sold her books. Los jugadores respondieron preguntas de los periodistas. So the players responded to, past tense, right? Questions from the journalists yesterday. Remember, ayer, yesterday. All right. Any questions, you guys? Good job. Nicely done. Any questions about the quiz or anything like that? Okay. No? All right, then. That's it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Adios. Get those practices in so we can, ace that quiz, right, you guys? Okay. Adios a todos. Have a great rest of your day. Adios.